Hello, and welcome to Pantheon Talks. I'm going to be your only host today. It's me, Apollo, and thank you so much for joining me. Today, we will discuss the purpose of the channel and how you, the viewer, will benefit from these discussions. A small disclaimer, none of us here at Pantheon Talks are professionals in any field. Therefore, all of our statements are personal opinions, so please take them with a grain of salt. All right, let's dive in. In order to understand how we got to this point, we need to start at the beginning. So let's give you the backstory of how Pantheon Talks basically was created. Well, recently I found this thing called Webtoons, and it's interesting because, one, this company is huge, and I had never heard of it. None of us here did. I think I was actually the first one to discover it, and then I looped in Blue and Poseidon to the world of Webtoons, and they had never heard of it either. So it was very interesting to see how oblivious we all are. Maybe it's because we're old, I'm not sure, but it was pretty funny to a company in this day and age that is so big in the comic world that we had no clue about. And therefore, props must go out to whoever kept bombarding me with the same Webtoon ad on YouTube. Every day, no matter what the time was, it seemed like I was getting an ad for Webtoons. Well, let me tell you, you finally got me to click. And I'm just gonna say it, I wasn't disappointed. I'm actually really happy I clicked on that ad. It transported me to an entirely new medium that I had no idea about. Once I got on the site, I started reading a few of the Webtoon series, and basically I was instantly hooked. There was one series in particular that really sparked my interest. I shared it with Blue and Poseidon, and they also loved it as well. Eventually, maybe we'll get into another video that specifically talks about our first Webtoon that we loved. But anyway, that's a story for another time. So after getting on the site, basically binge reading series from start to finish in a matter of days, I became a Webtoon fan. After doing some research, what really enhanced the experience even more was I found out that a lot of the artists were people just like me, just like you. They're trying to make it in the art world. And then seeing that a lot of these stories were 100% created by the artists or the writers from the Webtoon original series, it just blew my mind. I could not understand how stories weren't being controlled by a corporation or some sort of benefactor. That really took things to the next level. For me, at this time, I had my attention completely divided. I was working on my on-again, off-again, love-hate relationship with my novel. While I was doing that, I was also attempting to sell illustrations that were completely unrelated to the novel. So I had a lot going on with my personal, I'm going to call these hobbies because I actually do work full-time, and I also do have volunteer service that I do weekly. So I was juggling a lot of things, and it never dawned on me to just combine these two things, to combine my love illustration with my love for writing. They were really drawing me in two different directions. And so once I finally got onto the site, did a little bit of research, it was like fireworks went off, light bulbs came on, and the clouds parted, the Webtoons icon fell into my orbit and basically said, hey, you should become a comic artist. From that point on, I basically started working towards becoming one. I've been doing a lot of studying, a lot of paying attention to other creators and their tips and their advice on how to get started. And that's the goal right now. We want to make a Webtoon. So specifically, what will the channel focus on? It's basically going to be all things Webtoons. If Webtoons post about it, we gonna talk about it. To be about our journey from the pre-production phase, all the way to our first finished comic and onward. You can think about this channel basically like Pantheon Talks, diary, our journal, whatever you want to call it. And it's really going to document how we started from nothing and basically created a piece of work that we're all proud of. On this journey, we're going to focus on something specific every week to talk about. Something that'll help all of us. I want you to think about examples of things that you're struggling with. You could possibly share those with us in the comments. Share with us things that you have found to be motivating possibly. This is going to be a channel for everyone. We're going to think about things like, how can we create easy outlines? Designing a relatable or a lovable character? Creating an awesome introduction and a hook. Literally, you can use exposition to hook someone. I don't understand why people do not understand that exposition draws people in. That is something, that is a tool, a weapon in your arsenal that is often underused that we all can benefit from. I'm sorry, I had to get on my soapbox about that. I hear people talk about exposition all the time, about how it's some sort of device that used for info dumping. That's not what it's used for. We're gonna get into that. Getting a little excited here. Our goal basically is going to be creating a community that allows for everyone, no matter where you are in your process, to be able to have a voice, to be able to ask questions without feeling like you're dumb or that you shouldn't ask the question. We want you to ask questions. Even those who haven't started their comic. Maybe you haven't even gotten to the point where you're drawing or writing anything. Potentially, we want to help you to be able to move forward. See, starting a comic, I think sometimes people forget this, but starting a comic can be really intimidating. A lot of us are worried about if it's going to be liked, if people are going to hate it, if my art is good enough. And these are things that you have to deal with alone. But you're not alone. There's tons of artists that are in similar situations that you are. And maybe you're at the very beginning of the pre-production phase where the idea, it's still in your mind. It hasn't even left your brain. Does this sound like you? It was definitely me. That's the point here. We want to create a community that's going to be helpful. You have awesome ideas. I know you do. We all have great ideas. We've watched that show and thought, or we've read that book and thought, hey, if this was tweaked, it would be so good. But you have no clue how to start. You don't have a support system. You don't know who to turn to for assistance, and you don't know who to turn to for guidance. Well, don't give up. We have to have the motivation to keep pushing forward. And I'm definitely not saying that I'm the person you should turn to. Hopefully, while you're going on this journey with me, with the content that we'll be producing here, you'll be able to learn something that can be really helpful to you, to help keep pushing you forward to create that first comic or the second comic, whatever comic you're on. To focus in again on us, myself, Blue, and Poseidon, we're really going to use this channel to help motivate us. We're going to try to talk about what our goals are and really use the channel to push us forward, set up things possibly even like deadlines that will make sure that we have it documented. It's not just something secret that we're keeping from people. We want to move forward with these. It's going to document the process for you guys to see the story from pre-production, where it's just a sentence, all the way to a full-blown idea. And I'm just going to throw this out there as well. My feelings are probably going to change on things as I grow and learn, and I'm definitely going to be wrong about some things. But hey, that's okay. Being wrong is fine. It's not that big of a deal. What you want to do when you're wrong is learn from it. You have to learn and grow from that experience, and that will serve to make your content better. None of us are perfect. None of us are going to be able to produce a masterpiece. Even stories that are critically acclaimed, they have flaws. We want to remember we need to be realistic about this. We need to take an approach that will help us to keep bettering our comics. And that's what we're going to do here. I've really been floundering for a few years, and I've let so many years pass by. I really think I'm at the point now where I want to get serious and produce something that I value. So even if no one else values it, it'll be something that I'm proud of and I enjoy. So let's do a brief review. What will the channel focus on? Basically, all things Webtoon related, from information to Webtoon original series, artwork, character design, a lot of writing, and whatever else. Wow. If you've made it to this point, just a huge thank you. Don't click off just yet. I have a little bit of a treat for you all. I will probably try and include a preview for next week's video in every video if we have already worked out what the theme or topic will be. So next week we'll be starting our pre-production series with the video Begin Studying for Webtoons Right Now. And that might seem like a weird topic, but trust me, give the video a chance next week. I think you'll really enjoy it. We're going to be tackling things like, why is it important to study when making a comic? What should I study specifically? And what tools are free to take advantage of before writing or illustrating our comics? If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like, comment, and subscribe, and most definitely ring that bell. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts, link in the description below. We are particularly active on Instagram, so if you want to chat with us, feel free to pop on by and say hi. Catch you in the next video, guys. Bye.